All right, we're back for another portfolio project review. And this is the first project that's actually a project that's not a portfolio. So I'm pretty excited to dive in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this because it had animation in the beginning. I think it's going to go a little slowly because I actually had to connect my VPN to another server. NordVPN is having some issues at the moment, so let's give it a try. Oh, cool, that was fast. All right, Worldwritersclub, animation's fast. Come here to write for fun anytime you want. First person to answer all 26 of our prompts will get a very shiny, very cool prize. Okay, so it's kind of just like a diary. Is that what that is? Is it just to write ideas? Is it, I wonder if like you're able to save ideas? This doesn't initially tell you what you're going to get out of participating in this website. Okay. I don't think this is supposed to be here, but it's like hovering a little over this, and then there's just this white space. I don't think this is supposed to be here. I'd be curious to know why it is. That's all right. We're gonna forget this. I mean, this is a clean green. The contrast is a little hard to read. I don't like the contrast, but I think it's kind of just like, so I remember thinking about, I want to create something that was kind of just this giant online chat room that was supposed to be anonymous, and it was supposed to kind of just give people a place to vent about, like, if they're having a terrible day, and potentially not be judged. I remember thinking about this idea like 8 years ago. I wasn't really committed to the idea, or like really surfacing a lot of like practical features around that or anything. But this kind of reminds me of that. So people are kind of just coming on here to write for fun. Maybe writers will understand that a little bit better than I do, but it kind of piques my curiosity a little bit. First, this is interesting. First person to answer all 26 of our prompts will get a very shiny, very cool prize. All right, sure. So we're gonna click join now, and I have a test account. I'm a test. What is it? I am a test email. 3. I can't even remember my own email address. Cool. Sign up. All right, let's check it out. Right? That was the correct email? I'm a test email. I'm a test email 33@gmail.com. What? Okay. I guess it's just of this initial page. Oh man. I mean, it piqued my curiosity enough to dive into the project, but okay, so no confirmation. I'm gonna assume this works. All right, so I'm a test email 3@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and type that in. What? Okay. What? I don't understand. Prompts? Okay, so sorry, I'm very confused. So I think I don't know where to write. So okay. I'm totally confused right now. I would expect kind of like I don't know, maybe a modal, just some sort of panel to come up where I can write about my thoughts or write about anything, right? Because that's kind of how you sell it, is just basically come write for fun. But where do I do that? I think when you show an alert message like that, that's fine. It should probably fade. This kind of becomes irrelevant very quickly. Your collection. So I'm just gonna click stuff. Nope. Okay, so you have a landing page. If you're ready, choose a prompt. Okay, this is probably what you want when the person initially logs in, right? Especially if they don't have any, what was it? What did you call it? It basically said, it kind of like showed a list of saved somethings, and I think instead of showing kind of like an empty list or an empty table, you'd have this message, right? So you could figure out if they do have an empty list. If not, go ahead and choose a prompt and like display this message. So it's fine if you want to repeat this message. This kind of makes me, like, I'm logged in right now. That makes me want to like type after this. But we're going to go ahead and go through the flow. So right now you finally kind of let me, you kind of led me to start going through the flow that you expect me to go through. This should happen sooner when you log in. Say whatever you like. Last thing you dreamt about. I think it's a pretty cool idea. You could do some interesting things with it. This definitely seems like a diary. This definitely seems like just trying to extract someone's thoughts, to get them to talk about it, to feel about it. That's kind of that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with this. And that can be very useful and helpful, especially if it's promised to be potentially anonymous or private or judgment-free, or say whatever you like. So we're going to type something. I kind of like how it's a paper here. This is pretty cool. So it's going to be short thoughts. Public. Okay, so there's a choice of public and private. You could probably create a little more space. Make this vertically centered with the public, vertically centered with the private. Again, the contrast isn't that great. And then space these out a little bit more between like the public and the input, and private and the input. Okay, so we're gonna create some. What happens if we do submit? Okay, so it submits it, but we don't know if it's public or private. So we probably should, okay, so what does private do? So there's no indication of if something is public or private. If someone does create something that's public, you might want to give the option to be able to delete it or make it private, or make a private thing public. Do we do all 26 of these? Why is this here? This is pretty cool. Like, this is kind of like just a free form writing idea. Like, I do like the prompts. I really like the prompts. I think that it feels like you're trying to pry the creativity and just people's thoughts out of them. I think that's a very healthy thing to encourage people to do. So I could see people finding value in that. And it's kind of a clean and simple design. Why is there an underline here? But not here. Does that mean anything? Is there relevance? There should be, but I don't understand the relevance if you're going to include it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want the shiny prize. I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Oh, man. It's going to take a while. You might want to left a lot. Oh, interesting. Oh, cool. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to try to break it. What does shift enter? Okay. We're going to try to break it. What? What? Did it just ignore me? Are you kidding me? Wait, what did I type? Hold on, let's try it. Hey. Hi. What's up? Nothing. Hello. All right, let's go ahead and hit submit. What? So probably don't give them the option to go ahead and hit return and create line breaks if you're not going to let it happen. I want to see the, I want to get my prize. So we're going to click submit. How many was it, like 26? Why am I even asking you? You can't respond. Respond in the comments if you know. I think it was 26. I think it was 26. BBY? Keep writing. BB. Okay. I'll keep writing. How many? Okay, we're at 15, right? Unless I miscounted. We'll keep going until we get a prize. I'm kind of curious here. We're gonna create okay, so it creates spaces. I wonder what happens if we just hold the space down. We're just gonna do this for 2 lines. Oh. Okay. I don't think this is gonna do anything. Let's click submit. Oh, okay. No line breaks whatsoever. I can't cheat the system. But I would expect to because I'm able to return. So limit that return. I love it. I haven't actually been reading the prompts, so I'm not filtering out any bad words. Just tell me. Just tell me if there's an inappropriate message. I don't think there's going to be. Again? Okay, so you probably want to, well, maybe like a daily thing? I don't know. You could like email out a daily prompt for people to reply to via email or via this. How many do we have? I think I counted 8. I think we have 24. Not a very good counter. Okay, 26, right? I think we get our prize here. Oh. Did he lie to us? I think he lied to us. Oh. Where's my prize? Did you email it to me? Okay, we didn't get a prize. That was a flat out lie. Okay, cool. So, thoughts. No idea what this line is for. I don't think it's immediately apparent why this is relevant. I'm not sure why you're including it on these 2 columns. Maybe take the baby out. Just keep writing with that. Explanation mark would work. I think like okay, so here's the rest of my thoughts. I'm trying to sum it all at once and I'm not doing a very good job of it. All right, so we talked about this, remove this. Social media contact links are fine. I think the contrast as a whole, when you have this white against this teal background, it is hard to read. So the contrast isn't great. These success messages, error or success, we haven't really gotten an error yet, so I don't know if that exists, but like these probably need to be temporary. There's really no reason to keep this on the page, so you can have this fade instead of simple timeout in JavaScript to go ahead and add a class to fade it, remove the element. I don't think this is relevant. I don't know what the heck this is. It's a picture that's meant to potentially bill as content, when in reality your user just doesn't care about this section. There's nothing relevant down here. So I would get rid of this. I think this is fun. I think this is a really neat app idea. A couple things you might want to add to it. Let's see. I like these. I would imagine I can see, so I could just see your collection. I'm imagining that there's going to be like a public collection. So I think your users will want to eventually look at other people's responses, especially if there's a good chance that they've answered a prompt that you've answered, or that they've answered. I think they just want to see what other people answered, right? What are other people thinking when they were sent this message? And maybe like you send I talked about like sending a prompt to people via email or something like that. And so maybe you're sending that prompt to everyone at the same time via email. And so they might be able to respond and within an hour or two kind of just check a global board of all the responses. This can be very hard to moderate. Inappropriate responses, they're very hard to moderate. So hopefully you're filtering out some of the submissions, maybe kind of just a library, and you could use JavaScript to check their submission. You do it through a JavaScript library, or you could, be a little bit more secure about it and do it on the back end. I'm assuming this is saving to the back end. It has to be because you have authentication. It has to be. Probably isn't just front end storage. But basically, you probably want to check for that. But I don't think there even is a public board, so I would add that as well. I would even, when you submit it, I think what would be cool is if you did create one of these cards, you could see kind of like other people's submissions that have already answered this question recently. And so like instead of coming back to this board, you could then just go to a page where you see your submission, then you see like the most 3 recent submissions before you for that prompt, and then you can kind of just compare and contrast. Obviously you're only going to want to show public cards, but I think that would be interesting. There are a lot of neat things you could do once you probably build some of those features, but they're going to be a little bit more robust features. So what I'd like to see there's definitely a lack of functionality with kind of where you're going with this. First of all, I didn't get my prize. But secondly, like there are a lot of little things you can do, a lot of little wins that we've kind of talked about. And then you can eventually turn this into more of kind of a community website. And that's kind of what it feels like, especially with the public and private. I think that was a good idea. I would almost encourage you to force it to be public, especially when you have just a few viewers, because I think it'll show more activity on the website, especially if you're showing some sort of public board. But I think just what we went over, the features that I kind of recommended, I think I would start with those. And let me know if you've watched this and you feel like, whoa, that's not the direction I was going in at all. Feel free to comment below on the YouTube video and just let me know and kind of just give me a little bit more context around it. But these are my initial impressions with it. I kind of was very blunt about the value and my entire experience with this. So I think it's a neat project. But if I were building this, I'd kind of make this a little bit more of a social experience. A social experience, because I think what you're creating is potential for a lot of writers to connect with each other, and there are a lot of neat things that you can do with that. But maybe I'm way off. Let me know in the comments below. Kind of like the color scheme. Contrast is a little iffy against this green teal background, but I like this definitely has a lot of potential, and I could see a lot of writers really enjoying this. And it can be tailored to different types of writers, and you can have themes, and you can obviously some of the content that writers are going to write will require different features, and so there are a lot of directions that you can go with this. So, but those are my thoughts. So thanks for submitting it. Good job.